Hi everybody, welcome to the Ask Bess show. Topic today is, can my relationship survive quarantine? So, could be funny, but maybe not so funny to some, because there, has been reports of people who have found it hard to stay in the same quarters close together, and it's going on 5-6 weeks now. So, welcome, Deborah. How are you today? If you're watching the replay, please type in replay, because I'd like to thank you for that. And Deborah hails from Atlanta. Cool. What's it like down there? What's the weather like today? So I would like to hear where you're from and what's it like there. It's kind of sunny and springy here in Kansas. Flowers are coming up. I've got these creamy white tulips in my yard. They are so pretty. Really loving them. My message every show is, you matter. I hear you. I'll respond. You're bigger than any problem that is before you. Every problem has a solution, and it's always within reach. And you're not alone. I'll help. I know other people will help too. Today I'm going to share some tips about the topic today, but also about some self-help, a self-help method that is excellent for helping people to move from problem to solution real fast. Finding out what we need. It's called Real Conversations. By the way, this is the Ask Bess show. It's here every Saturday and Sunday at noon Eastern Time. And it's a place for us to sit together, to be able to hear each other, hopefully to get some tips that can better your life, to ask questions. You can also ask anonymous questions by dropping it into my Facebook Messenger, and I'll respond here. It's also a place where you can leave tips and insights. So this is a mastermind, I feel like, where we can share with each other and keep the conversation going below. So I appreciate if you know someone who can use this today, if you tag them, share it into their Facebook group that can be watching live or any of that. So while I'm going to take a minute here to invite some friends to watch myself from my list, and welcome you to do that as well. And yes, this is a very interesting topic, because I know one little meme that I saw was like a couple sitting on a couch, and she looks over at him and says something like, can you breathe just a little more quietly, please? Because this could be a time when people can get on each other's nerves. But I got some really good tips for all that and how to survive the quarantine. How are you all doing about that anyway? Has it been boring? Has it been a break? Has it been a welcome relief? Has it been scary? How are you all doing about that? I'd love to hear. And if you wonder about, excuse me, tickle, about my background qualifications, I'm a body-mind therapist, a holistic health practitioner for over 30 years, helping people to have better lives, whether it's their career, health, relationships. I'm also called the shrink of MLM. I think that's real cute, because for over 10 years I've been focusing on my niche, which is network marketers, and have a school for teaching the best methods that I know, along with Jeffrey David Gamble and Brandy Pember. But even before that, I've been helping people with life issues, health, relationships, spiritual issues. And I love continuing to do that. I do that with private coaching, and sometimes in classes and groups, sometimes facilitating events. And I've got some cool videos and books coming out for you all along these lines. So I look forward to sharing these with you. Yes, over 30 years, Reiki master, inner child therapist, mother, grandmother, minister, author, speaker, been on radio shows, speaker at events, author, articles, books, teacher in the classroom and online for many, many, many years. So I have some experience to bring to you. And thank you for, back to the show. Okay. And welcome, Sean. Yeah, Sean said I'll be on, and here he is on. He's from Atlanta as well, just like Deborah is. And Stephen Land is watching. Very welcome. there goes Sean sharing. Sean is a sharer. I'm going to call you Sharing Sean because you certainly do that more than anybody else that I know. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who shares, because that shows we're thinking beyond ourselves and that we can be of service to life. Hello, Tommy, how are you? Glad to see you. Okay, topic today, relationships in isolation. Can my relationship survive this? Yes, we can get cabin fever, we can get irritable. Now, I'm living here alone. I lost my little dog of 15 years a year ago, and at this time, I'm single, living alone, and I can feel crabby and irritable. I get some cabin fever too, and I think, gosh, what would happen if I had a mate here? Would I be cranky with them, or would I be able to stay in my loving heart? So we do need a break from each other sometimes, right? I'm on the extreme. I got too much of a break, but it's okay to need a break sometimes, and to go do the shopping or take a walk, or go to another room, read a book, talk with a friend, to take a break from each other as a couple. And that's what, who is that poet that said, we need breaks in our togetherness. So absolutely don't feel bad if you do need that. But if anyone finds themselves feeling cranky, I have a few tips for that. First of all, take care of yourself. And because I don't know a better gift to give one's partner, than to be happy, to bring our happiness. It's so delightful to be around. It's such a relief and such a refreshing thing when you're around a happy person, isn't it? So I'll talk a little bit about ways to make oneself happy. But first I want to talk about the couple. And you've heard about the five love languages. Well, this is my first suggestion, is when a couple feels cranky, that they do a pattern interrupt. If one feels cranky, then they might toss it back and forth and amplify that, respond off that. But if they do a pattern interrupt, like all of a sudden one surprises the other one with a flower, or a gift of service or something like that, or a back rub, and surprises the other one, they might start turning that around and responding that and matching that back and forth. So that's what I call a pattern interrupt. And that can be done with the five. Remember what the five languages of love are, and see what what is yours, because that's what you would like your partner to do for you, but also know what your partner's is so that you can do that for them. The flower would be a gift. Doing the dishes for somebody or the chores for somebody when they usually do it, that can be a gift of service. Or a back rub could be a gift of touch. Maybe that person loves touch. That's their main love language. Like me, that's me. I just love hugs and touch and massage. I am a massage therapist too, as I love touch so much. And then there could be gifts of acknowledgement, like thank you for doing this, or gee, you're always so good at this, or you're so smart at this. Could I get your opinion about this? Acknowledging that person. Or it could be gifts of quality time. And I have a really cool idea for quality time that I can't wait to practice if and when I am in a next relationship. I believe that I will be in the right time. But have you heard of 36 questions? These are ways to have quality time with your partner regularly. Like some couples will make a date once a week and discuss one of the 36 questions, like that they get to know their partner in a deeper way than ever possible. Like, what's your favorite so-and-so, or who's your favorite celebrity, or if you were stranded on an island and this or this happened, what would you do next? Or what would the first thing that you would do? And so you can get to know your partner on a deeper level than ever before. And these questions help to stimulate areas of discussion that you haven't thought of before. I'll post a link to that. You may have seen that getting around. I think that's the coolest thing. Getting to know each other, sitting down, asking these thought-provoking questions. It's said there are 36 questions to help a couple to fall in love again. And welcome, Micah. Glad to see you. How's everybody today? Thank you for your comments, because then I know you're there. And I'd like to say a shout out and a wave to you. By the way, follow the people on this group because they're the coolest people on here. I just love sitting with you every Saturday and Sunday. Thank you for jumping on, and I love you guys. Okay, another idea for couples. I know some are dressing up to have a romantic candlelight dinner, preparing they're going out for a date, and they dress up for each other during this time. If they can't go to a restaurant, they can do this. And I know couples who will go on a hike in nature together and share that, which can be so relaxing and so bonding. A tip is to remember that you all are on the same team. You're not against each other. Do not pit yourselves against each other like two people opposing each other in a boxing ring. But remember, we're on the same side. We're on the same team. You know, naturally, if I build up my partner, if I serve my partner, then that serves me too. We're really one. We're really one body. And did you know that when we open our heart to our partner rather than criticize, that it's good for us too. It makes us feel good as well. It's not only good for the partner, but first and foremost, it makes us feel good. So if your partner comes at you with a snappy comment, let's see if I have my puppets here. Yes, I meant to bring the puppets on. And Micah says, thanks for sharing. Oh, I'm divorcing now, but this will be great for the future. Yes. Yes. I know several friends are going through divorces right now, and I am very sorry. I know they have done everything that they can to heal the relationship. They're not neglectful. They're not giving up on it, but they've done all that they can, and they feel they need to move on. So my empathy for you at this time, and maybe these tips can be applied to a future relationship. Of course, the best thing that I've certainly done too is to say and look carefully at that that marriage or relationship and say, all right, what went well and what could I have done better? What's my lesson in this? How is this changing me to go forward and bring a better me to a new relationship? Of course, I've written down all the things I want in a relationship, and I'm saying, okay, Bess, are you all these things? You better work on yourself, right? Be loving and kind and all that stuff. Sometimes kindness, that's really my number one desired quality in a mate is kindness. And I have to look at myself and say, are you always kind? You know, where can you improve on your kindness? So definitely working on that. Okay, so I brought the puppets along today to talk about compassionate communication or empathic communication, where we open our heart to the other person. That's what it really means. So this puppet is known in the compassionate communication circles where I originally learned this. It's known as the jackal, and this would be the negative, the critical part of us or our partner that comes out with tense comments, hurtful comments or critical comments. And this is Mr. Giraffe. Giraffe represents the highest part of ourselves because, excuse me, it's the land animal with the biggest heart, and it also has a high view. So the giraffe in the compassionate communication model represents the heart or the higher self or love. And the jackal represents perhaps the childish part of ourself, the negative, the fearful, the critical. And if your partner says something like, can you breathe quieter? Why do you have to snore all the time? Do we need the TV on all the time? Then the giraffe can come back in and say, gee, are you needing some quiet right now? Are you needing to have some time to yourself? Are you needing a break from me? And you see what the giraffe does is guesses or tries to put himself in his partner's place and say, what could that person be needing? And if nothing comes to mind, a tip I got from Jim and Jory Mansky is, I think I have their last name right. A tip I got from them is to also ask, to say to oneself about your partner, someone who gives you a hurtful comment, gee, just like me, ... just like me, that person is sensitive inside. Or just like me, that person has a tender heart inside and might be in some pain. Just like me, that person might be feeling some pain right now. About being irritable, cabin fever, or something like that. And so you can say to that person, gosh, are you needing this or that? Are you needing some time to yourself? Are you needing a break from us? Are you needing some quiet? So that is the compassionate communication is able to stand, or the empathic communication is able to stand in another person's shoes for a moment and guess what another person, or try to feel what the other person is feeling and needing. And when I'm able to do that, shifts my heart from defensiveness to one of love. So the jackal might come at me with angry or hurtful words. Words that I can let hurt me, or I can step back and be an observer and come and speak from the giraffe viewpoint, or from my open heart, and ask myself, gee, what might that person be needing or feeling? So those two questions actually make me feel better, because that's a better place for me to be, a happier place for me to be, right, than in one of defensiveness and hurt and retaliation. So that's what I can do for my partner and for myself. Before I lash out with angry words, I might ask myself, gee, what am I feeling and needing? And see if I can get myself in a happy place before I might need to communicate a request that I have. But be clear what you're really wanting before you make the request, to save everybody time. And as Sean says, does that also apply if you're in a relationship that's one-sided? How can a relationship be one-sided? Because a relationship, by definition, is two ways. So I'm not quite sure what you mean by that you're the giver and the other person does not care about you or give to you. Then it's not a true relationship. But yes, it can be applied to the other person. If that person is not a good match for me, it's not a reciprocal relationship, I can still ask that person, or at least in my mind, gosh, I know a lady that was so upset that she couldn't talk to me. And rather than take it personally, I said, I bet she's feeling bad because she did this or that, and now she wants to make it my fault, so that because she was already feeling bad about herself, or maybe, needing some self-esteem, and she doesn't know how to give it to herself, so now she's making me the bad person, not speaking with me. So that's a one-sided, but it frees me from feeling hurt, and it frees me from judging the person when I do it. Does that help, Sean? It really frees me up. It's really a gift to myself. So every time I can give empathy to another person or to myself, it helps both. Does that make sense, or does that help? And Micah said, is that not a selfish thought? We're all in the same boat, but one has an attitude about it. That we are all in the same boat, but one has an attitude. Just wondering. Selfish thought that we are all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat in this world, in this pandemic, right? And if somebody has an attitude about it, an attitude about me or anything, I have a choice. I can hold on to it. I can feel hurt. I can want to retaliate. Or, that's reaction. Okay, number one choice is I can react. The other choice is that I can empathize and have compassion for my feelings and how that felt, but also for the other person, what they might be going through. I can guess, I can anticipate, but I can also check it out with them. If you're in a talking relationship with them and you want to invest in that relationship, if it's worth it to you, then you can say, are you feeling this or that? And try to help translate that person's attacking jackal voice into their feelings and needs, which are not judgmental, not blaming, and not critical. So we're translating, right, from a attacking viewpoint into a heart viewpoint of understanding the other person, and also giving compassion to both of us, how that felt to me to hear it, and what the other person might be feeling underneath their attack. Underneath their attack, guaranteed, is pain, like a bear with thorns stuck in its paws. So anytime somebody's roaring at me, one time someone did that. They just stood there and yelled at me. And I thought, they must be saying, it was critical words, and I thought they must be saying that to themselves on a daily basis. I just have to stand here for 1 minute and hear it. But they have to live with their own self-criticism daily. I had a lot of compassion for that person. It did not go in me because I realized that they were a critical person. They had to live with themselves. So I thought, oh, it must be hard to live with themselves. I didn't say that. But that freed me up from taking it personally. Does that answer, Micah? Please let me know if it does or doesn't. And welcome, Pierre. Welcome, John. Glad to see you. Understand. Okay, understood. This is an interesting topic. I'm learning some value. Yes. Now, if you want to learn more about this compassionate communication, just look up the book on Amazon, Nonviolent Communication by Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. And I have that book, the other room to hold up to you, but I'll put the image and the Amazon link in the comments. It's the best communication book and system that I've ever seen that uses this empathy. But basically, it just means come from the heart, right? See how you can come with love. See how you can guess what they're feeling and needing. Oh, I think I covered this already. Yeah, so the two things I like to ask are, what are they feeling? Or to say, just like me, they have some pain inside. That would be an attempt to guess what they're feeling. Or to ask inwardly, or ask them, what is it that you're needing? And that might get them to think behind that criticism or that blame. Now I'd like to, put any questions, thoughts, tips below, please. I'd love to hear your takeaway. And again, if you know someone who could use this, I'd love if you tag them and share it. And thank you, Sean, for tagging your friends. Always. You always do that. Thank you very much. Follow Sean, you guys. He does wonderful Facebook Lives too, and many of the other people here on this list. Okay, now, so I suggested asking what the other person's needing. But remember what I said a little earlier is I think the greatest gift we can bring to a relationship is to be happy ourselves. So I might ask, well, what am I needing? What would make me happy? And I wrote down some things. This morning I was just thinking, gosh, during this pandemic, what's missing for me? What do I need? And I wrote down hugs. That was the first thing, being a touch person. Touch, my main love language. I wrote down hugs because you know what? It's been 6 weeks since I've had a hug. And of course, when my puppy was here, I get puppy hugs. I FaceTime my granddaughter and my son and that family. I've gotten to see my other family at a distance, from 6 feet away here that's locally. But you know what's okay, so what's interesting is that I've had dreams of having hugs. So somehow my subconscious seems to compensate and gives me that need for touch in a dream. I've had that before where, do you guys remember your dreams? I've had that before where if I'm needing something or lacking something in my life, it might show up in a dream and I feel like I woke up and I got that, like I really had that connection. Or visiting an exotic place, or learning something, or going to school, teaching or learning in universities. I have dreams like that too. Or seeing friends that I haven't seen for a long time, or maybe who have passed away, including my dog, including my mom, and other people. They show up in dreams sometimes. So dreams help me out that way. Another thing I wrote down was massage, being a touch person. Yes, I massage myself all the time, different, stretch and exercise and all that. My body gets plenty of good attention. But I thought, wow, one of the first things I'm going to do after this isolation is over is get a massage and give massage again. I miss doing that. I miss touching with people and connecting with them that way. I've been missing my dog. So what I do is I walk my neighbor's dog just about every day. And I take my leash over and clip that on the dog and And he loves it. Now we got this regular rhythm going on, but that's how I've satisfied that need, because kids and pets make me happy. They really do. They open my heart very much. And of course, seeing my family, I've gone to visit my brother, my niece, and her 4 kids, and all that. And they're getting a dog pretty soon too, so I'll be another auntie to this dog. But I've gotten to visit them from a distance at least, and on conference calls, which I do regularly with my little granddaughter. And nature. Now that I can fix. I can go to be in nature. I can go for a hike. We have a great park here. But also I started growing some tomatoes. Last year I didn't, but this year I thought, I've got to grow tomatoes, right? I'm eating some organic cherry tomatoes, so I just said, why not sprout the seeds? And I did. And now they're about that tall and getting ready to put into some pots that I've been composting. So that feels good, getting my hands in dirt and mixing that up with the compost and planting things. That feels really, really good. So that's how I satisfy that need. And of course, dear friends, for a while there, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was on the phone for hours a day with people that I haven't seen for a while that called out and reached, or we just suddenly had this desire, I guess, to see if you're okay, to see how you are and to catch up. So I had the opportunity to chat a lot with friends. And then it sort of died off. And so now I'm going to reach out to friends again. Now I have the time, I think, again to do that. So those are things that I do to make myself happy at this time. What would make you happy? Mine was hugs, massage, a dog, my family, nature, friends. Reading a good book, good personal growth book. Whenever I exercise, I put on personal growth audios and listen to those at the same time, or else I get bored, or prepare food in the kitchen, or do my juicing or anything like that, which I used to outsource, but now I'm doing it myself, so I'm using that time for education. So those are things that make me happy, but what makes you happy? What really turns you on? How can you increase your bank of happiness and be an even better partner, not just for yourself, but for your partner? What could help you? And then how could you share these things with your partner? Like all the things I mentioned could be shared. Hugs, a massage, if you have a pet to share, if you have family that you could be visiting or being on conference calls together, can you go for a walk in nature or hike or do something that would be socially distancing but together in nature at this time? So those are my thoughts for today. What are yours? Do you have any questions, takeaway, comments? I appreciate you each for being here. And guess what? I have a Tuesday night class. It's a donated free class that everybody's welcome to on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And it lasts an hour or two, whatever we need to take. And it's a free class where you can call in. It's just calling us. There's no need to deal with, Zoom or how I look, or is it going to be it's not recorded. It can be anonymous even. You can come on anonymously if you want. You can come on and just listen if you want. It's a chance for us to get together and air your feelings, what you're going through, questions that you might have, just to listen in or be heard, or maybe even have some help about topics if you like, from me or the rest of the group. Again, it can be a kind of a mastermind. And you're welcome to come on that. There's no opt-in. It's just a call-in number, free conference call, and I'll post that below. So that's this Tuesday and every Tuesday. I'm going to keep this going. Started this during this pandemic, but I'm going to keep it going for good because it is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful class, a place where people can come on and be together and get some coaching, counseling at no charge, perhaps. Air how you're doing at this time, what you're going through. If you're trying to make a living from home, that's one of my specialties, is coaching and teaching network marketers. If you have communication, you're stuck on some communication with any of your family or relationship or partner, that would be a good place to bring it. And we can go over that, maybe offer some suggestions or give you empathy for your feelings, because that opens the heart so much and opens doors. When we open our heart, it opens doors. So that's what I have on Tuesday. I also have a package of free self-coach tools for you called Real Conversations with Yourself to help clear up any problem that you're going through. It's a 4-step process that moves from the problem to the emotion to the need to meeting that need in a healthy way. But basically, simply, it means knowing what you need underneath that problem. And you can learn to do this for yourself, just like I demonstrated today. I'll put that link below. It's called my free self-help tools called Real Conversations. And these are my gifts to you at this time. The Tuesday class that you can call into and the free self-help tools. Ask Bess shows here every Saturday and Sunday. Haven't decided what next weekend's topics are going to be. What would you suggest? What do you want them to be? What would you like me to talk about next Saturday and Sunday? Often I devote Saturday to business or network marketing and Sunday to life and spiritual or relationship issues. But you let me know. I'll take this all in and address it on the weekend, Saturday and Sundays. Ask Bess Show, noon Eastern Time, Facebook Live. I'd love if you invite friends because I want to help as many people, reach as many people as I can. Love to know what you need, what you want that to be. A place where we can be together, you can be heard, and know that you matter. I hear you. I care. I'll respond. And I'm not the only person helping you. You're bigger than any problem before you. Every problem has a solution. You can become a master problem solver. And you can learn this Real Conversations method to do that in minutes. I've used it for almost 30 years to work with myself, clients, and students, and then I documented the 4 steps that I seem to go through every time. Now I teach this to people. Got some books and films coming out about it. Hope that helps you now and in the future too. So this is what I do. This is what I give to the world. Promoting love. Not bad. Okay. Great class, no judgment. And Sean says, I believe to continue to talk about mindset. This is so huge. People need to understand the importance of it. Working on yourself is very important. So these are your takeaways. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. And yeah, mindset. In any success, it's 80% of success, right? Skills are 20%. And of course, there can be communication skills. I said every problem, even in business, is a communication problem. That's why I love this book so much, and I'll post that link below too. The book, again, is Nonviolent Communication by Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. It's on Amazon. Maybe the best investment of your $5 in time that you'll ever do. And the different personality types. Yep, that's important too. There's a lot of different systems of personality types, aren't there? But the original and basic one that Jeff and I like to teach, Jeff Gamble and I are co-teachers in the MLM Millionaire Academy that Sean is a star student in, and a number of people here are in the school. And we love to teach about the 4 personality types. Want me to mention them real quick? The DISC means the dominant, the first one, the dominant. And that's if you know your personality type and who you're living with, it can help a lot. The D personality, they're more dominant, aggressive. And they like to be the decision makers. They like to be in control. They like to get results. They like bullet points. They're not so much into the feeling stuff as much as the other ones are. The I personality, that's the influencer. It means a fun-loving type. They're not very much into the details, but they're into people and fun and travel and, the enthusiasm of life and the fun of life. Then there's the S personality, the steady. That's like me. We're more slow, thoughtful, thorough, into relationships, into the heart. Money doesn't motivate us as much as happiness and emotions and good causes and helping people does. And then there's the C type of personality, and that's the conscientious, more mental, detailed, research-oriented, again, thorough, slower to make decisions. The S and the C are slower people. The D and the I are faster-paced people. So many times couples will attract each other because they are attracted to what they're missing in their own personality, and they they want to know that or bring that into their own personality. But sometimes those very things that we're attracted to can also get on our nerves. And we think, why can't that other person be more like me? Why can't they see this? Why can't they do this or act more like me or have the same values as me? And we need to help that. What we do is we value the uniqueness and the gifts that that person brings to the table rather than wanting them to be just like me. Because if all the flowers in a bouquet were all the same, we wouldn't have the variety of shapes and colors and sizes, would we? In a multicolored bouquet, it'd all be the same flower. So do you value your partner's differences? Can you celebrate those and complement with your own and try to balance each other's strengths and weaknesses, compensate for them, rather than wishing that they were all like you? I'll tell you, if the world was all like me, it would be maybe less conflict, but boring. And we'd be missing out on some talents and gifts that the other personality types bring to the table. So, yep, I like everybody to be like me. I really think they should be like me, because my way's the best way, right? But no. Thank goodness people are not. So, okay, so those are the 4 personality types. There, you can find the DISC personality online and learn about them. Know who your partner is, know how to best work with them. Like one parent had a D daughter, and he could never get her to go to bed on time. It was a fight every night for years and years, right, to get his daughter to go to bed at 10 p.m. or something, his teenage daughter. And, or elementary school daughter, whatever age she was, go to bed at 10 p.m. It was a struggle every night until he learned that she was a D personality. And the best way to get a D personality to do something is make it their idea. So instead of saying, go to bed at 10 o'clock, now get to bed, he would say, you can go to bed, your bedtime is your choice. But 10 is the limit. That's the latest it can be. But before that, it's your choice, you know. So because she could choose, at 10 o'clock, she went up to bed because it was her choice to pick that time. So within limits, but see the difference here of learning to work with the personalities. So we're human, aren't we? We're just so human. Hey, welcome Gladys. Glad to see you. How are you? Very glad to see you. Goodness. And glad to see everybody. I better end now. Be back next Saturday and Sunday. Ask Bess, noon Eastern Time, Facebook Live right here on Bess McCartney page. And I'd love to hear the topics you would like me to cover next weekend. Okay, and thank you all for being here. Thank you for all that you do. I know a lot of you are very service-oriented and are on Facebook Lives too. Support you guys. And thank you for what you do. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for every time that it's tempting with someone, it's tempting to give them back their own medicine, but you open your heart instead. Heals both of you. Thank you for every time that you do that. And I'm going to work on that myself to increase my ratio myself. Thank you. Love you guys. See ya.